If you leave this video before the end, you might miss one of the most powerful psychological skills you could ever learn. A skill that powerful people use quietly every day. And most people never even notice it happening. People think power belongs to the loudest voice in the room, the person who argues the hardest, the person who explains the most. But the truth is the exact opposite. Real power often begins the moment you stop talking. Because silence does something strange to the human mind. When you refuse to react. When you refuse to fill the space with words, you force the other person into a battle with their own thoughts. And most people lose that battle. Today you will learn why silence can become a psychological weapon, and how the quietest person in the room often controls the entire situation. The primal fear of silence. Human beings are deeply uncomfortable with silence. Our brains are wired to expect feedback. When we speak to someone, we expect signals. A nod, a smile, a reaction. These signals tell our brain that everything is normal. But when those signals disappear, the brain begins searching for answers. Did I say something wrong? Are they angry? What are they thinking? The mind begins creating stories to fill the gap, and this is where silence becomes powerful. Because the moment you remove feedback, you create uncertainty. And uncertainty is one of the most uncomfortable feelings a human mind can experience. The void of information. The human brain hates information gaps. It constantly tries to predict what will happen next. But when someone stays silent, there is nothing to predict. No reaction, no emotional signal, no explanation. This creates what psychologists call an information vacuum. And the brain rushes to fill that vacuum with assumptions. The other person begins analyzing every detail. Your facial expression, your body language, your silence. They start questioning themselves. And often, they reveal more information than they ever planned to. The mechanics of internal collapse. Silence works like a mirror. It reflects the other person's emotions back onto them. When someone expects resistance, they prepare to defend themselves. When someone expects an argument, they prepare their counterattack. But when silence appears instead, their mind has nowhere to send that energy. The conflict turns inward. Instead of fighting you, they begin questioning themselves. Their confidence slowly weakens. They begin over-explaining, over-justifying, over-talking. And without realizing it, they surrender control of the conversation, seizing the frame of reality. The person who speaks less often becomes the observer. And the observer holds a powerful psychological position. Because observers judge the situation. They analyze behavior. They decide when to act. Meanwhile, the person who keeps talking becomes predictable. Their emotions become visible. Their intentions become clear. A simple pause, just a few seconds of deliberate silence, can completely shift the power dynamic in a conversation. Because the silent person becomes difficult to read. And people naturally respect what they cannot easily understand. Tactical application in modern social dynamics. Silence is not only powerful in face-to-face conversations, it also works in modern digital communication, in messages, in emails, in negotiations. Most people feel pressure to respond immediately. They think fast replies show confidence. But sometimes the opposite is true. A delayed response can create anticipation. It forces the other person to wait, to think, to reconsider what they said. And waiting creates psychological pressure, often stronger than any argument. Mastering the art of presence. Using silence effectively requires discipline. Most people feel the urge to explain themselves. They want to prove they are right. They want to justify their actions. But true composure means resisting that impulse. Not every statement requires a response. Not every challenge deserves a reaction. Sometimes the strongest move is calm observation. Eye contact. Relaxed posture. Controlled breathing. These small signals reinforce silent authority. People begin to feel that presence without a single word being spoken.